Ferree's tuning slide removal pliers. Today we're going to look at tuning slide pliers, and we're going to look at how they're used. Components of them. Down below we have examples of our small, medium, and large sets. If we have a close look at them, we see we have a tapered side and we have a very flat side. The flat side is what we use to drive and push the slide out. The tapered part allows us some freedom from any ferrules that might be around the slide we're actually trying to remove. The adjustment screw is there to screw in to keep us from compressing and crushing the tube. This is like a set screw that allows us. Okay? So on slides slightly larger than that, we now can use as much force as we want to close it without the gap changing at all. While we're doing this, we use the back force to actually drive out. Okay, I'm going to use this demonstration on a trumpet, and we're going to use our small pliers. For this, I am going to use a canvas hammer. I can use a rawhide mallet, whatever works best for me. Sliding over to our trumpet demonstration. We have our ideal situation here. What we have is a trumpet that has a slight gap in it. We can feel the slide is stuck. If I look very closely, I can actually see, zoom in this area here, that the bottom slide is moving. Typically, this is what we're always going to find, because what happens is the moisture comes off the lead pipe and gathers in between the outer slide and the inner slide. Okay? So this is a crucial area. Whenever we use these pliers, we're typically removing the top. Okay? In a situation where they're both frozen solid, this technique can cause severe damage to the actual crook by having one side move and not the other. In this case, you must go on one side, loosen it up, then go to the opposite side. You must rotate between both sides. We're going to get set. In this particular case, there's not enough clearance. I'm going to have to use the tool in the fashion that I do not like to use. I'm going to use it in the reversed direction. Now, what's wrong with this is I stand a chance of marking up this area really easy for the end slipping over. But because this ring on the end of this slide is so large on this old horn, I may not have a choice. I grip the pliers quite hard, and I attempt to move it out. Okay. One of the things you may want to use here is a bit of penetrating oil in this area to help with this procedure. We've started to move it. We can see a little bit of a gap increasing. We're going to have to revert back to our old ways and continue a little bit further. Okay. Okay. We now have the slide has come out a little ways. Okay. What we have is J88 from Ferree's, which we probably could have used before we started the demonstration, but it will not hurt applying some now. As you notice, it creeps in very easy. Don't be afraid to use a little bit. Once we have our gap and we can actually get our pliers back on the correct way, and set it in here next to the ferrule, set our screw so we cannot squeeze it harder and crush the tubing. Okay. And we're going to continue to hammer out the slide. Please notice that the bottom slide is moving. Okay? And as long as we see that moving with the top slide, we can continue on. There we have our slide. removed, we can see the oil actually penetrated and came in. It creeps very well. Now let's take a look at the little bit of damage we have around the area. We can get a nice close-up of this. Okay, we have a little bit of damage. Nothing that a little file, a little sandpaper wouldn't be able to fix. Okay, we've got the slide out. We've cost them or saved them a lot of money. In an old horn like this that has an old gold lacquer, we've been able to maintain as much of this as possible. We have a little area here that we dress up. Preferably we do not buff. We want to keep the integrity of the gold lacquer and keep this area hidden as much as possible. Okay, you'll buff up the slides, the bare brass, and this slide will work once again. That is how you would use the slide removing pliers. Thank you.